The strangest mysteries ever recorded. Part 1. Sounds from the darkness. The world is full of mysteries. Most disappear after a few days. A strange light in the sky. An unusual sound in the night. A shadow caught on camera. Eventually someone finds an explanation. But not always. Some events remain unsolved for decades. Scientists investigate them. Governments study them. Millions of people discuss them. Yet no answer is ever found. This is a story about some of the strangest events ever recorded. Not legends, not myths, not campfire stories. These are real reports, real recordings, and real mysteries that continue to puzzle experts today. It begins in the middle of the ocean, far from any city, far from any ship, far from civilization. In 1997, underwater microphones operated by researchers detected an enormous sound. The sound was unlike anything ever recorded before. It was powerful enough to be heard thousands of kilometers away. The signal traveled through the Pacific Ocean. Scientists gave it a name, the bloop. When the recording was first analyzed, researchers assumed it might be biological, perhaps a giant unknown animal, perhaps something living deep beneath the sea. The problem was its size. To create such a sound, the source would need to be larger than any known creature on Earth. The mystery spread quickly. Newspapers reported on it. Television documentaries discussed it. People imagined gigantic creatures hidden beneath the ocean floor. Years passed. No animal was ever found. No source was ever discovered. Even today, many people continue debating what truly produced the sound. Yet the ocean was not finished revealing mysteries. In another part of the world, sailors began reporting strange lights. The lights appeared without warning, sometimes hovering over the water, sometimes moving beneath the waves. Witnesses described glowing spheres rising from the ocean before vanishing into the night sky. Radar systems often detected nothing. Weather conditions were normal. No explanation could be confirmed. Many reports came from experienced sailors who had spent decades at sea, people accustomed to storms, people accustomed to unusual conditions, people who understood the difference between imagination and observation. Still, nobody could explain what they saw. Meanwhile, thousands of kilometers away, another mystery was unfolding. Residents of small towns across different countries began hearing sounds from the sky. Not thunder, not aircraft, not machinery. The sounds resembled enormous metallic groans. Some described them as giant trumpets. Others compared them to steel beams scraping against each other. Recordings appeared online. The sounds echoed through neighborhoods. Dogs barked. People left their homes. Many looked upward expecting to see aircraft. There was nothing, only empty skies. Scientists suggested several possibilities: atmospheric phenomena, distant industrial activity, acoustic effects. Yet many recordings remained unexplained. The mystery became known as the sky trumpets. For years, new recordings continued appearing. The sounds came from different countries, different climates, different seasons. No single explanation accounted for every case. The sky itself seemed capable of producing noises nobody understood. Then there were the lights. Throughout history, humans have reported unusual objects in the sky. Most eventually receive explanation. Planets, weather balloons, satellites, aircraft, optical illusions. But some cases remain unsolved. Pilots have reported objects accelerating faster than known aircraft. Military radar operators have tracked targets performing impossible maneuvers. Cameras have captured strange shapes moving against strong wind. Many reports involve trained observers, people familiar with aviation, people accustomed to identifying objects in the sky. Yet even after investigation, some incidents remain mystery. This does not prove extraterrestrials. It proves something else. There are still things we do not fully understand, and perhaps that is even more interesting. Because every mystery reminds us how little we know. The deepest ocean trenches remain largely unexplored. Most of the universe remains unknown. Even our own planet continues surprising us. Sometimes the strangest mysteries are not found in distant galaxies. Sometimes they are found beneath our feet, deep underground, in caves where sunlight has never reached, in tunnels abandoned for generations, in places few people ever visit. Explorers have reported hearing voices where nobody should exist, footsteps where no footprints are found, distant echoes that appear to respond to human speech. Most have natural explanations, some do not. And every unexplained event leaves behind a question waiting for an answer, a question that may never come. As the years pass, new technology helps investigate old mysteries. More cameras, more sensors, more satellites, more data. Yet despite all these advances, unexplained events continue occurring. Perhaps one day, every mystery will be solved. Perhaps one day, every strange sound, every unusual light, every unexplained recording will receive a clear answer. But today, many remain unanswered, waiting, silent, hidden somewhere in the darkness. The strangest mysteries ever recorded. Part 2. The signal nobody could explain. Human beings have always listened. Long before radios existed, people listened to the wind. They listened to the ocean. They listened to distant storms. Eventually, technology allowed humanity to listen to something much larger, the universe itself. By the 20th century, giant radio telescopes were scanning the sky day and night. Scientists hoped to understand stars, galaxies, and cosmic phenomena. Most signals were predictable, natural, expected. Then one summer evening, something extraordinary happened. On August 15, 1977, a radio telescope in Ohio detected a signal unlike anything ever recorded before. It lasted only 72 seconds. Then it disappeared. The signal was remarkably strong, far stronger than surrounding background noise. When astronomer Jerry Amon reviewed the computer printout days later, he was stunned. He circled the data with a red pen. Beside it, he wrote a single word: "Wow." The name remained forever. The WOW signal. Scientists immediately began searching for an explanation. Perhaps it came from Earth, perhaps from a satellite, perhaps from military equipment. Every possibility was investigated. Nothing fit perfectly. The signal appeared to originate from deep space, yet it never returned. Researchers pointed telescopes toward the same region again and again. Years passed. Nothing. Decades passed. Still nothing. The source remained unknown. The mystery became one of the most famous puzzles in astronomy, not because it proved anything, but because nobody could explain it. A single whisper from the darkness, a brief message that may have meant nothing, or everything. The unanswered question remains. What created it? The universe offered no response. Meanwhile, another mystery was unfolding much closer to Earth, far north in the icy wilderness of Russia. A place where temperatures could freeze exposed skin within minutes. A place where survival depended on experience. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers entered the mountains. They never returned. Weeks later, rescuers discovered their campsite. The scene made no sense. Their tent had been cut open from the inside. Personal belongings remained behind. Warm clothing remained behind. The hikers appeared to have fled into the freezing night. Barefoot, terrified, search teams eventually located the bodies. Some were found beneath trees, others in a nearby ravine. Several had suffered unusual injuries. Investigators struggled to reconstruct the final hours. What could force experienced hikers to abandon shelter in deadly conditions? Avalanche theories emerged. Weather theories emerged. Military testing theories emerged. None answered every question. More than 60 years later, debate continues. The Dyatlov Pass incident became one of history's most famous unsolved mysteries. The mountain keeps its secrets, and perhaps always will. Yet strange events are not limited to isolated wilderness. Sometimes entire towns witness them. One of the most remarkable examples comes from Norway, a remote valley called Hestalen. For decades, residents reported unusual lights. Bright objects appeared over the valley. Some hovered motionless. Others moved at incredible speed. Witnesses described glowing spheres, white lights, yellow lights, red lights. Scientists eventually became interested. Unlike many mysteries, Hestalen offered something rare: repeat observations. The lights continued appearing year after year. Researchers installed camera, radar systems, measurement stations. The phenomenon was recorded repeatedly. Some explanation suggested plasma formation. Others proposed geological causes. Yet no theory explained every observation. To this day, the lights continue appearing. Visitors travel from around the world hoping to witness them. Some do. Most leave with more questions than answers. Because mysteries become more fascinating when they refuse to disappear. And Hestelin refuses to disappear. The lights continue dancing across the valley. Silent, distant, unexplained. Then there are mysteries hidden beneath the ocean. The sea covers more than 70% of Earth, yet much of it remains unexplored. In some ways, humanity understands the surface of Mars better than parts of its own ocean. Deep beneath the waves, strange sounds continue to be recorded. Researchers have detected signals known as upsweep. Julia, slow down. Each received a name because scientists needed a way to identify them. Most eventually gained possible explanation. Ice movement, geological activity, ocean dynamics. Yet uncertainty remains. The ocean is a difficult place to investigate. Sound travels enormous distances underwater. A noise recorded in one location may originate thousands of kilometers away. This creates mysteries. And where mysteries exist, speculation follows. Stories grow. Legends emerge. Questions multiply. Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Sometimes it is simpler. The challenge lies in determining which is which. By the early 21st century, technology had transformed the world. Satellites monitored Earth continuously. Cameras existed everywhere. Information traveled instantly. Many assumed mysteries would disappear. Instead, something unexpected happened. People discovered new ones. Every year brings fresh reports. Unusual lights, unusual sounds, unusual observations. Most eventually receive explanation. A few do not. And those few capture the imagination of millions. Because unanswered questions possess a unique power. They invite curiosity. They challenge certainty. They remind us that knowledge is never complete. No matter how advanced civilization becomes, there will always be something beyond the edge of understanding. Something waiting to be discovered. Something waiting to be explained. Or perhaps something destined to remain a mystery forever. And somewhere tonight, as telescopes scan the stars and ships cross dark ocean, another unexplained event may already be happening. Someone may be hearing a strange sound. Someone may be seeing an unusual light. Someone may be recording evidence that will puzzle experts for decades, because the story of mysteries is never finished. It only continues, one unanswered question at a time. The strangest mysteries ever recorded. Part 3. Voices in the static. For most people, radio is simple. Turn a dial, hear music, hear news, hear voices. But hidden between ordinary broadcasts exists a world few people ever notice. A world of signals, some expected, some mysterious, some that appear to have no obvious purpose at all. For decades, radio enthusiasts around the world have reported hearing strange transmissions. Not conversations, not music, not weather reports. Instead, they hear numbers, endless numbers, a mechanical voice repeating them over and over, sometimes in English, sometimes in Russian, sometimes in languages listeners cannot identify. The broadcasts often begin without warning. A tone sounds, then a voice starts counting. 7, 4, 2, 9, 1. The sequence continues for minutes, sometimes hours. Then suddenly the transmission ends. Silence returns. These broadcasts became known as number station. Governments rarely discuss them. Researchers have debated their purpose for decades. The most widely accepted explanation is espionage. Secret messages sent to intelligence agents. Yet many mysteries remain. Some stations have operated for generations. Some appear and disappear without explanation. Others continue transmitting despite political changes, technological advances, and shifting world events. The signals persist, voices emerging from static, speaking to someone, somewhere. But who and why? No definitive public answer exists. The mystery continues. Among all number stations, one became especially famous. A signal known simply as UVB 76. Listeners nicknamed it the buzzer. For years, the station transmitted a repetitive buzzing sound, day after day, month after month, year after year. Then occasionally the buzzing stopped. A human voice would speak. Words would be read, numbers announced, codes delivered. Then the buzzing returned. Nobody outside, a small group of officials, seemed to know why. Radio enthusiasts monitored it constantly. Recordings spread across the internet. The signal became a modern mystery, a machine endlessly calling into the darkness, waiting for someone to listen, waiting for someone to understand. Yet radio signals are not the only strange sounds people hear. In a small town in New Mexico, another mystery emerged. This one had no clear source. Residents described a low-frequency humming sound, a distant vibration, always present, never loud, yet impossible to ignore. Some people heard it constantly. Others heard nothing at all. Researchers investigated. Engineers searched for industrial causes. Scientists conducted measurements. No explanation satisfied everyone. The phenomenon became known as the Tao's hum. Reports continued for years. People described sleepless nights, persistent headaches, a feeling that something invisible surrounded them. Many theories emerged: machinery, power lines, psychological effects, atmospheric phenomena. None fully solved the mystery. Even today, similar hums are reported around the world, always elusive, always difficult to measure, always difficult to explain. And then there are places where mystery seems woven into the landscape itself. One such place exists in the forests of England, a quiet region called Rendlesham. In December 1980, military personnel stationed nearby reported unusual lights among the trees. At first, observers believed an aircraft had crashed. Security teams entered the forest. What they encountered became one of the most debated incidents in modern history. Witnesses described bright lights moving between trees, objects hovering above the ground, strange impressions in the soil. One officer later claimed he approached a metallic object. He described unusual symbols covering its surface. The report spread quickly. Investigations followed. Skeptics proposed explanation. Supporters disputed them. Decades later, the incident remains controversial, not because everyone agrees, because they do not. The details continue generating debate. And where debate survives, mystery survives with it. Thousands of kilometers away, another unexplained event would leave an even larger mark on history. On the morning of June 30, 1908, people across Siberia witnessed something extraordinary. A brilliant object streaked across the sky. Moments later, an enormous explosion shook the region. The blast flattened millions of trees. Windows shattered hundreds of kilometers away. The shockwaves circled the planet. Yet investigators found something unexpected. No impact crater, no obvious meteorite, nothing that clearly explained the devastation. The event became known as the Tunguska explosion. Scientists proposed many explanations: a meteor airburst, a comet fragment, an unusual atmospheric event. The leading theories explain much of the evidence, yet fascination remains. The scale was enormous, the location remote, the details dramatic. More than a century later, Tunguska remains one of the most remarkable natural mysteries ever recorded. Events like these reveal something important. Mysteries are not always supernatural. They are not always signs of hidden civilizations or visitors from distant stars. Sometimes mysteries emerge because information is incomplete. Sometimes evidence disappears. Sometimes witnesses disagree. Sometimes nature behaves in ways we do not yet understand. The unknown does not automatically mean impossible. It simply means unanswered. And unanswered questions have a way of surviving, passing from one generation to the next. Scientists inherit them. Researchers inherit them. Curious minds inherit them. The search continues. The investigation continues. The mystery continues. Because every answer creates new questions. Every discovery reveals new frontiers. And every unexplained event reminds humanity of a simple truth. No matter how much we learn, there will always be darkness beyond the edge of knowledge. A darkness filled with signals, filled with sounds, filled with lights, filled with mysteries waiting patiently to be understood, or perhaps waiting to remain mysteries forever. The strangest mysteries ever recorded. Part 4. Lights over the desert. Not every mystery happens in darkness. Some occur in plain sight, in front of thousands of witnesses, under clear skies, with cameras recording, and yet they remain unexplained. One of the most famous examples occurred on the evening of March 13, 1997. Across the state of Arizona, people began reporting unusual lights in the sky. At first, the reports seemed ordinary, a few bright objects, nothing unusual. Then the number of witnesses increased. Hundreds became thousands. People from different cities described seeing a massive formation of lights moving silently overhead. Some witnesses believed they were observing separate objects. Others insisted the lights belonged to a single enormous craft. Descriptions varied, but one detail remained remarkably consistent. The object appeared gigantic, far larger than any aircraft most witnesses had ever seen. Families stood outside staring upward. Drivers stopped their cars. Emergency services received countless calls. The lights moved slowly across the night sky. No engine noise could be heard. No obvious explanation appeared. Television stations began receiving reports. Radio programs discussed the event. By morning, the story had spread across the country. Investigators searched for answers. Military officials later explained that some lights were likely flares dropped during training exercises. For many observers, this explanation solved part of the mystery. For others, it did not. The debate continues decades later. What exactly crossed the Arizona sky that night? Thousands of witnesses still disagree. Yet the event remains one of the largest mass sightings ever reported, and it proved something important. Sometimes mysteries are witnessed not by one person, but by entire communities, entire cities, entire regions. Another mystery unfolded far from deserts, far from crowds, far from civilization. In the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, the sea has always inspired stories. Ancient sailors feared monsters beneath the waves. Modern sailors fear storms. Yet some disappearances remain difficult to explain. Perhaps the most famous example involves a region known as the Bermuda Triangle. The area stretches between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Over the decades, numerous ships and aircraft vanished within this region. Some disappearances eventually received explanation: weather, mechanical failure, human error, navigation problems. But the legend continued growing. Every unexplained loss added another chapter. Newspapers amplified the mystery. Books expanded it. Television documentaries transformed it into a global phenomenon. Scientists generally argue that no unusual force exists within the area, yet the legend survives. Because mystery is powerful, people remember unexplained disappearances, especially when answers never arrive. And sometimes answers truly never arrive. One example occurred in 1872. A merchant ship named the Mary Celeste was discovered drifting across the Atlantic Ocean. The vessel appeared seaworthy. Its cargo remained largely intact. Food remained aboard. Personal belongings remained aboard. Yet the crew had vanished. Every passenger, every sailor, gone. The lifeboat was missing, but no clear evidence explained what happened. Investigators proposed theories: piracy, mutiny, storms, accidents. Each possibility contained weaknesses. No explanation gained universal acceptance. The disappearance became one of maritime history's greatest mysteries. More than a century later, people still discuss it, still debate it, still wonder what happened aboard the Mary Celeste. The ocean offers no answer. It never has, and perhaps it never will. The sea keeps many secrets. Some are measured in centuries. Others are measured in moments. Like the strange radar contacts reported by military operators around the world. Radar systems are designed to track aircraft, ships, weather, known objects. Occasionally, operators detect something unusual: targets appearing unexpectedly, targets moving at unusual speeds, targets disappearing without warning. Most cases eventually receive explanation: equipment errors, atmospheric effects, misidentifications. Yet a small percentage remain unresolved, not because they are impossible, because available information is incomplete. Investigators cannot determine exactly what occurred. The files remain open, The questions remain unanswered, and unanswered questions often become legends, especially when technology fails to provide certainty. As the 20th century became the 21st, humanity entered an age of unprecedented observation. Satellites circled Earth continuously. Smartphones placed cameras in billions of hands. Information moved instantly across the globe. Many believed mysteries would disappear forever. The opposite happened. More observations created more anomalies. More recordings created more debates. More data created more questions. Because observation alone does not guarantee understanding. Sometimes it simply reveals how much remains unknown. Every year new mysteries emerge. A strange sound, an unusual light, a missing vessel, an unexplained signal. Most receive answers, some do not, and those few continue capturing the imagination of millions. Not because they prove extraordinary claims, but because they remind us that uncertainty still exists. The world remains larger than our knowledge. The oceans remain deeper than our exploration. The universe remains vast beyond imagination. And somewhere tonight, another mystery may already be unfolding. A sailor may be witnessing an unusual light over dark water. A pilot may be observing something strange on radar. A scientist may be receiving a signal that defies explanation. A camera may be recording evidence that future generations will analyze and debate. The story never truly ends, because mysteries never stop appearing. As long as there are places left unexplored, as long as there are questions left unanswered, as long as there are people willing to look into the darkness and ask why, the search will continue, and so will the mysteries, the strangest mysteries ever recorded. Part 5. The silence beneath the ice. There are places on Earth so remote that very few humans ever see them. The polar regions are among those places. Endless ice, endless darkness, endless silence. Yet even in these frozen landscapes, strange events have been reported. Researchers stationed in Antarctica have occasionally described unusual sounds, low-frequency vibration, distant rumbles, noises that seem to travel through the ice itself. Most were eventually linked to shifting glaciers and cracking ice sheets, but not all of them. Some recordings remain difficult to identify. The mystery deepens because Antarctica hides secrets beneath its surface. Under miles of ice lie ancient lakes that have remained isolated for millions of years. One of the most famous is Lake Vostok. Buried beneath the frozen continent, it remained untouched long before humans existed. Scientists believe unique forms of microbial life may survive there. The lake reminds us that entire ecosystems can exist in places nobody expected. And if hidden worlds can exist beneath Antarctic ice, what other discoveries remain undiscovered? The question becomes even more unsettling when explorers vanish. Throughout history, expeditions into remote regions have sometimes disappeared without explanation. Bad weather, equipment failure, navigation mistakes. Nature is unforgiving. Yet in certain cases, investigators never determine exactly what happened. A final radio transmission, a campsite abandoned, footprints ending in snow, then nothing. The wilderness closes behind them. The answers disappear. Another mystery comes from the Arctic. For generations, sailors reported seeing strange mirages above the horizon, entire cities appearing in the sky, mountains floating in midair, ships seemingly suspended above the ocean. Today, scientists understand many of these events as atmospheric optical effects, yet witnesses often describe them with astonishing detail. For those who saw them, the experience felt impossible, a reminder that nature itself can create illusions stranger than fiction. As technology improved, many expected mysteries to fade away. Instead, humanity discovered something surprising. Every answer revealed new questions. The deeper researchers explored the ocean, the more unknown species they found. The farther telescopes looked into space, the more strange signals appeared. The more data collected, the more anomalies emerged. Knowledge expanded, but so did the frontier of the unknown. Perhaps that is the greatest mystery of all. Not a single event, not a single sound, not a single light, but the realization that complete understanding may never be possible. There will always be another unexplained signal, another unusual observation, another question waiting for an answer. And somewhere, at this very moment, a scientist may be studying a recording that makes no sense. A sailor may be watching an unfamiliar light over dark water. An astronomer may be examining a signal from distant space. A researcher may be hearing a sound nobody can identify. The mystery begins again, as it always does, quietly, without warning, hidden in the darkness beyond what we currently know. And until an answer is found, it remains part of the greatest collection of mysteries ever recorded.